Alright guys, so here's the final installation, or installment rather, of scenario 7, install and configure the storefront. So in the previous scenarios, or the previous videos, we have covered installing the Citrix license server. We have also installed and configured our delivery controller and both of our XenApp servers as well. And last but not least, we need to create our storefront and then go ahead and configure that inside our studio, and then we'll go ahead and test the delivery of the applications that we have already shared. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to go to our storefront, and now the storefront, we had an issue as we remember with the IP addresses, so I just want to make sure that everything's okay. Yeah, it's been given IP address 30, so I'm gonna go back to our storefront, power this on. I can keep it at 2, but let's see what I have done previously. I've actually given this guy 16 GB, so I'm going to get rid of the 16. So for that, I just need to power it down. Alright, I'm going to drop it down to, I don't need more than 2 for this, but since I do have resources, I'm simply going to go ahead and give it 4. And I don't need to give it 2. I can 4 CPUs. I can just give it 2. And again, that was our delivery controller. Okay. While that's powering on, I'm going to go ahead and change this. And mount our ISO. Power our storefront. Log back into our delivery controller. We'll proceed with the installation of our storefront server. Just want to have a quick test to make sure that we do have proper connectivity. Our ping 172.16.10.10. Great, it pings that. Want to make sure that it pings our license server, which is sitting at 20. And just want to make sure our delivery controller is 40. So I want to ping that. Great, so everything looks good. It's already domain joined, as I had mentioned. We're simply going to go ahead and switch off the firewalls. And one more thing that we're going to do is go into our control panel, Internet. It would help if I were to spell it right. Advanced, under security, uncheck for publisher certification revocation, and server. Alright. For IE, I'm going to switch this off. Okay. Start. So all we're doing this time is installing the Citrix StoreFront server. Okay. It shouldn't take us that long. I'm gonna go over the default ports. Right. So while this is powering on, I'm simply going to go ahead, or installing rather, I'm simply going to go ahead and power on our workstation. Okay. and we actually do have to join the domain with this one. I'm going to pause it and come back to this. Can I go ahead and quickly assign the IP address to my workstation? Gonna give it 90. And then simply go ahead and join the domain. Right, while it's starting, alright, so it looks like our installation has been completed for our storefront. So finish. And there you go. Again, see how fast it launched our console. So we didn't have to wait for that adding snapping. Alright, now create a new deployment. Now we don't have two servers, so we don't have to worry about it. We just have only one storefront server. So create a new deployment. We'll keep our base URL exactly the same, and later classes will discuss how we can change that to something which will be more user-friendly, like calling it my store or your company name store or whatever the case may be. So next. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and log in as a domain administrator. It's going to take probably 2-3 minutes, and it'll assign the store name as well. So I'm going to pause it while that pops up. Alright guys, so we just need to go ahead and give it a store. We're simply going to call it NCI store. And keep in mind, whatever name you put over here, NCI store or XYZ or whatever you put, it would end up being that you get a append web after that. So let's try one thing. For our store name, we're just gonna, in this example, we're simply gonna go ahead and call it NCI. Okay. Or you know what? I'm just gonna call it App Store. Okay. Next. Here we need to add a delivery controller, and keep in mind, if you have any issues like you are not able to see the apps or anything like that, then we just need to come and check the delivery controllers. Now also another thing, in our previous video I had discussed that when you're adding a delivery controller over here, the server, unfortunately the system is not intelligent enough to verify whether or not the domain exists. So I could actually just call it Timbuktu. I don't know if that's the right spelling or not, but nevertheless, see, it did not validate it. So if you make any errors, it will not recognize that that's not the correct server name in the environment, and you will continue to have issues like you will not see the apps or the desktop that were delivered, okay, or published. So you're simply going to remove that, add it, and again, just for accuracy, we're going to check it's the computer name, the server name is NCI CDC01. That's the name for our delivery controller. So we're going to go back and type in NCI. It's not case sensitive, so you don't have to worry about it. NCI CDC01. Okay, again, it will not validate it. So NCI CDC01. So that's the right one. Make sure you change this because we are using port 80, so change this to HTTP and it will go there. If you forget to do that, and if you're having an issue, please make sure you try it with 443 as well. It's not that difficult to figure that out. So HTTP 443, and the HTTP is at port 80. So press OK. Next. we'll go through with the defaults. Now what I meant was try it without with the port 443 was as simple as this. So HTTP NCI CSF01 is our base URL, and our store name that we have actually configured it to was app store, right? So we're gonna put Citrix here, app store, and it will web will end up being appended to it. So this is a normal one if you are HTTP port 80. Okay. If you have configured something else, then it will be HTTPS, and it's good to try it nevertheless. You could try it with that. And if that doesn't work, try it with colon 443. If not, you might have even configured a port 8080, which I told you not to, but nevertheless, if you had, that's not an issue. You can do 8080. Now, this is by default for port 80. You don't have to put port 80 because it's actually by default, but in reality, it's represented like this, right? So just so that you have some more information. Okay, so if we click on this, it should launch. Yeah, there you go. So great. So we know our storefront is actually working. Okay. We need to simply go ahead and add this to our studio now, our delivery controller. So we're going to go back to our delivery controller, go into studio. Okay. Now in our storefront, add storefront, and this is asking for the storefront server name, and in this case it was NCI CSF Citrix StoreFront 01 my store, whatever, HTTP. We actually copied it, so HTTP, and this is our store. That's our URL, and press OK. Okay, there you go. Now we're just going to go ahead and quickly test this out. Now if you're like me and you don't have internet connectivity on your lab environment, it's really annoying when it tries to go out to that. So I'm just going to go ahead and open one and close this, go into internet options, and over here I can just say about tabs and apply. Press OK. If I close this down and relaunch the relaunch the Explorer, you see it doesn't try to go out to this particular website because that's not the home address anymore. Okay, so we're gonna paste that one. That's our new storefront server, or the URL. Run. This is because we did not install the Citrix receiver. See, we don't have it there. If you had installed it, it wouldn't have required you to install it again. So I'm just going to pause it until it goes ahead and installs it. Alright, so here it is. Install. Probably take a minute or two. I'll be right back with you once it completes. Alright, so that took 2 minutes, and it's completed. So the installation has finished. So finish. There you go. We're just gonna go ahead and try logging in. Hopefully it shouldn't give us any errors. There you go. So no errors whatsoever. And here are the two delivered apps. And mind you, they're both being delivered from either of the servers. So if one of the servers goes down, no problem, we'll still have access to it. We'll test that theory as well. And permit use. We'll give it a minute. It's the first time going. So there you go. Now to test it, whether or not this is a delivered app or not, or if it's a local app, we just simply click on that, Shift F2, and voila, it actually opens up a new window, and heading is Citrix Receiver. So we could minimize it, close it, but if you want to go back to it so that it only shows calculator, you simply press Shift F2 again, and it goes back to looking like a normal calculator. Okay. Now to test our theory, whether or not we can work without one of the servers, we're going to go into our XenApp server number 1, and we're simply going to go ahead and pause it. So there you go, it's been paused. We're going to go back to our workstation, and we're going to go ahead and log out and log right back in. Right. And there you go. It's still there. Okay. So what does that tell you? That in this particular scenario, the delivery controller decided that since the first server is down, it's going to go back to the second server, and from there it's going to go ahead and deliver / publish those applications to you. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and quickly recap. In the first video, we went ahead and cannot start the app calculator. Let's try it again. If not, then we'll configure this, and we'll figure this out in the second video. Yeah, so it doesn't look like it's actually launching. Oh, actually it did launch. Sorry, it just took a little bit longer. So there you go. So it did work. Okay. So again, just to recap what we have learned in our first video, we installed and configured our Citrix license server, and in our second video we set up our site, our machine catalogs, or our XenApp servers, and then our machine catalogs, and then our delivery group. We couldn't install the StoreFront server yet because we had not set that up. If you set that up first, then sure enough you can go ahead and do that. Another thing that we discussed is that you don't have to wait for your delivery controller to be completely installed before you can start installing your XenApp servers. You can always come back to the VDA setup, and in the VDA setup you can customize it and go ahead and point it towards your delivery controller. So you can go ahead and simultaneously install the delivery controller while you're installing your XenApp servers as well, just to save up on the time. Okay. Alright folks, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, comments down below, and definitely do subscribe as well, so any videos that I post, you will have an alert as well that I've posted a video. Alright, wonderful, and I'll see the rest of you guys in class. Take care, and God bless. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.